Vayehi oir. Oh, thing to do. Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Yossi Loloyan, and I make videos about Jewish life and Torah. And it's been a while since we've made one of these videos, one of the live Parshah videos. And truth be told, it's going to be the last of this kind for now. And eventually, hopefully, we'll get back to this, maybe a little bit different. But we've done 2 rounds of the Parsha, minus 1 Parsha, which is partially why I'm here. The last Parsha of the Torah was just a bracha I didn't get around to. And so we're just going to mention something from that here. But really, the main reason I'm making this video is, number one, you saw probably, if you're here, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. Parsha at the barber with Ilya is now going to be taking a break. Don't know what's going to happen going forward. And we'll get into that soon. But I just wanted to come here, make this video, clarify, give you guys a channel update, and obviously talk about some Torah. Let's get right into it with the intro. Okay. Now, I filmed a video with Ilya saying goodbye and thanking everybody. And I'm going to play that actually at the end. But I just want to start this off by saying that really, and I hope Ilya sees this, I want to say a huge thank you to Ilya. First of all, I think I can take these off now. First of all, I just want to say this is Ilya's railroad barber. Set up his shop for me, and we spent hundreds of hours together, really. And he said he spent so much time just making videos with me and contributing and bringing his flavor and his charm and his excitement to the show. And it wouldn't have been really anything at all without him. And he really, really deserves a huge thank you. I really feel indebted to him. And I just want to say thank you, Ilya. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna play what we filmed together. Just a short message to everybody. And I wanted to start by saying that the reason why this is ending, there's one main reason, which is just that life is getting really busy. There's a lot of changes happening for me, and personally, and good things, Baruch Hashem. But as we know, it says that Mylin B'Kodesh in Meridin, that we're supposed to always go be elevate ourselves when it comes to holy matters, and not to promotions, not demotions, not to go up, not to go down. And so obviously I'm not, I don't think it's correct for me to just stop doing this and not do anything else. The purpose of this is to just kind of pivot into taking little segments from past videos, really, I think, gems, little things that maybe get lost in the big videos. People can't watch the whole thing. Take little segments, post those. Also shorts, have much further reach. Shorts and reels take little segments from the show, from the past 2 years of the Parsha, and putting them out there. And something which you're going to see here today, which we're going to do, is also talk about how the Torah is related to. So often we could see from the Torah that really the strength and the claim of the Jewish people to the land of Israel, to Eretz Yisrael, is from the Torah. That's really what it comes down to. And there's of course there's so many other reasons and explanations and valid claims the Jews have to the land of Israel, but it all comes down at the end of it. It all comes back to the Torah and the fact that Hashem gave us the Torah, and Hashem is the master of the universe, and he created the world. And I really, when I'll be able to find the time, and I don't promise this every week, but when there's really a really strong message, a really beautiful message, which ties us to the land of Eretz Yisrael, especially when it comes and it kind of totally debunks the claims of the anti-Jewish, anti-Israel crowd. I'm going to want to make videos about that. And it's really something, it's been over a year since we're seeing a lot of hate to the Jewish people. And I feel like there's so many, I really don't like getting political about it. And obviously for Jews, it's not political. This is our home. But it gets really distracting and people go into a very not good space. But definitely when there is a Torah supported direction or Torah supported format to do that, then 100% I'd like to do that. And that's also where I'd like to be able to contribute some of my time. Now, I said earlier, we missed out with Bracha. So I just want to say something very, very interesting from Parshah Bracha. And then I'd like to also say something short from Bereshis. And then there's also just in general, tie all the parshas. There's like basically 4 parshas right now. There's V'zos Bracha, Bereshis, Noach, and Lech Lecha, which is the parsha we're in right now, just to bring some stuff in connection to the land of Israel and the Jewish people. So V'zos Bracha talks. It mentions a lot of the. It mentions blessings, bracha, to a lot of the. To all of the Shvatim, the tribes of Israel. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say V'zos Bracha talks about Moshe being buried. And it says in the Pasuk something which even, which we're not supposed to do really. It phrases it in a way that mentions idol worship. Now, we're not supposed to go ahead and say, let's say, I'm going to meet you near this house of idol worship, or, the restaurant is across from this house of idol worship. We're not supposed to do that. Yet over here it says, that they buried him, talking about Moshe Rabbeinu, across from Beis Porah, which is Avodah Zarah. So why is that? And one of the explanations is that actually Moshe Rabbeinu was put there so that when the sin that was committed against the Jewish people, when that sin, so to speak, meaning the potential harm that could be caused in the prosecution against the Jewish people, because everything has spiritual energy, when that will go in front of Hashem, so Moshe Rabbeinu being across from there, he's going to pray and he's going to be the what's the word? The advocate for the Jewish people. And that's why he was buried there. And it says something very interesting. Actually, Moshe Rabbeinu took the quote unquote, the anger, the negative sin of the Jewish people. And that's talking about the sin when they were seduced by the women of Moav, I believe. And it says that he kind of like made a place for it in the ground and kept it there, like, as if it was in jail. I don't know what that means, but obviously what it's saying is that Moshe Rabbeinu is the leader and he protects the Jewish people and he's our advocate and he always looks out for us. So it says that when Moshe Rabbeinu, and every time that it says that every time that this there would be this prosecution because of the sin of the Jewish people, Moshe Rabbeinu would quote unquote bring it back down to earth, wouldn't allow it to go up in heaven to prosecute against the Jewish people in front of God, and put it there. And so when Moshe Rabbeinu was buried in that same place, every time it would, again, the sin, quote unquote, would go up, and the energy of this, idol worship would go up. And I don't know what that means, but just something negative against the Jewish people, when that would go up to try to prosecute, it would see the burial place of Moshe Rabbeinu and it would become scared and would go back down. Mystical stuff. I don't fully know what it means, but I just thought that was very, very interesting. And just another indication of just how selfless Moshe Rabbeinu was, that his entire being, when he broke the luchos, when he hit the rock, so many times he put himself on the line and he sacrificed so many things. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't buried in Eretz Yisrael. All these and all that, you can always tie it back into his love for the Jewish people and putting himself second, and him really being entirely and wholly just the leader of the Jewish people. And now I'm going to bring something from Bereshis quickly, which is that Moshe Rabbeinu, sorry, not Moshe Rabbeinu, from Bereshis, Adam Rishon, right? We know that Adam Rishon sinned. He ate from the Eitz Hadas, and right then it says that Hashem wanted to bring the world back to nothingness. Why did he want to bring the world back to nothingness? Because he created the world for man, and man already sinned. But that was right before Shabbos. Now, when Shabbos came, it says Adam Rishon started to sing. This is actually a Mizmor in Tehillim, where it says he was saying Mizmor Shir Yom Shabbos. He was singing to Shabbos. Right? He was praising Shabbos and what a wonderful thing Shabbos is. And so Shabbos turns to him. And again, what does that mean? Shabbos turns to him. We're always talking about spiritual and holy things. The day of Shabbos, that spoke to him and said, "Let us both sing to Hashem." And they both started to praise and sing and say beautiful songs to Hashem. And what's interesting is you could see this from this pasuk, right? We say this on Shabbos, Mizmor Shir L'Yom Shabbos, a song for the day of Shabbos. And what does it say right after that? Tov lahodot l'Hashem, or Tov lahodot l'Hashem. It is good to thank or to praise Hashem. The hodos could also mean moida, to admit. And so you see that basically first Adam Rishon started to say this song to Shabbos, and then together what do they do? Lahodos l'Hashem. They sang to Hashem, and Hashem heard this, and this sort of made Hashem decide, you know what, we're going to keep the world. Now, obviously, Hashem had plans for the world from the beginning. Whatever this means, there was, in the midas of Hashem, let's just say, the attributes of God, there was, severity of something wrong happened, something bad happened, we have to destroy the world. And then this elicited the rachamim, the mercy of Hashem. But what's interesting is that Adam HaRishon said afterwards, he says like this: "From me, all the generations will learn that whoever goes to Beis Din and he admits his sins, right? Because part of Adam Rishon's sin was that he didn't admit. He said, "Oh, this woman you gave me made me sin," right? Someone who goes, I don't know why it mentions Beis Din. I guess Beis Din is where you go to resolve halachic issues. So it says that whoever goes to Beis Din and admits his sin and goes, and it says whoever sings to Hashem. Sorry, I messed that up. He said, whoever sings to Hashem and is remorseful and admits to his sin, so then he will not be judged by Gehenna. He will not go to Gehenna. Like it says, he will be saved from Gehenna. Like it says, Tov lahodot l'Hashem. So, and again, these are pretty mystical and spiritual stuff. Obviously, there's more than what we can understand here, but these are the ideas, at least at their core, are beautiful ideas, and I thought this was something that probably most people had not learned, so I wanted to share this. Now, talking about Eretz Yisrael, really all the Parshas, you see how the Jewish people in Eretz Yisrael are so intertwined. I just wanted to mention two of the Shvatim the tribes that their portion was in the land of Israel, of Eretz Israel. And it says that the ones that were near the border, they were like lions, right? God kilav yishachim. God will dwell like a lion. And Rashi says why? Because he was near the border. Therefore, he was likened to the lion, because whoever is near the border has to be strong like a lion. It actually says later on, right after that, it says that he will devour or tear apart the arm and the skull. And Rashi explains, what does this mean? That they were so strong and brutal in their defense of Eretz Yisrael that when they would, strike the enemy, it would take off their head and their arm at the same time. And this is something which is very, and it also says this about Dun, right? It says Dun was Dun Gur Aryeh. Dun is also, a lion. Why? He was also near the border, and therefore he was compared to lions. There is no question that the Torah's position on Israel is that you defend it at all costs. There's no room for softness. There's no room for quote unquote mercy. It's not mercy on it's not merciful when you're going to sacrifice your own people in order to spare other people. You prioritize your own people. To put your own family at danger because of other people is just foolish. And you see this clearly from the Torah. And then in Bereshis, this is something which was mentioned before, and it basically encompasses Bereshis Noach and Lech Lecha, what I'm about to say, about why the strongest claim of the Jewish people being in the Torah. You see this basically throughout all the way, pretty much through the first two books, both Bereshis and Shmais. And the first Rashi, the first pasuk of the entire Torah, and this is something which is very well known amongst the Jewish people who learn, the Chumash and Rashi, that when there's a big question here. The Torah was given to the Jewish people, and you see this all over the Torah. The reason why Hashem gave us the Torah was so that we should follow His commandments. So if that's the case, why does the beginning of the Torah, a huge chunk, has nothing to do with laws at all? There's not one mention of one commandment, and all it is just a story of how the world was created and how, all the way until from Adam to Noach to Avram to Yitzchak to Yaakov to the Shvatim and to going to Egypt, coming out, going into the land. Going into the desert and receiving the Torah. What's going on over here? And the answer is, right. The question is why it should have started with the first mitzvah in the Torah. The first commandment in the Torah should have been what the book started with. And Rashi explains, why did Hashem do this? In order so everyone should know exactly how the world was created and who's in charge. Who created the world? Hashem created the world. And therefore, it's His, and He can decide who it goes to when it goes to them. And so Rashi says, it's Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. Yitzchak said, if people will come and say that you are, to the Jewish people, you are thieves because you took the land from the nations. We're not talking about the nations now. We're talking about the nations, the 7 nations that were there, which, by the way, we're going to see even that's not a real claim, which is amazing. When they say that, they'll say, no, Hashem, this world belongs to Hashem, and therefore He gave it to them, and then He decided that He wanted to give it to us. He took it away from them. And this is, again, Hasbara is full of explanations of why, what, blah, 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 and it's no matter what you say, people always have an answer, and it's always a circle going back and forth, back and forth. The strength and the strongest claim of the Jewish people to the land of Israel is always coming from the Torah. And I just want to mention one last thing, and this is actually in the Chayenu, in the Chayenu, in Chumash, but I read this in the Chayenu today, and I want to tell you, I'm going to tell you why I'm mentioning the Chayenu, but it says basically that when Avraham came to the land, what does it say? The Haknani az ba'aretz, that the Canaanites were then in the land. Now, I'm mentioning this because there's this ludicrous claim that you'll see. People say that, oh, the Palestinians, quote unquote Palestinians, they're not even Palestinian, whatever. They don't. We know that they were considered themselves Arabs, and it was a fabricated identity. But the people will say that the Palestinians, they're from thing is that um, the, the that the Canaanites, the Canaani were just then occupying the land, or in the land, right? Canaan, right? They were in the Canaanim, they were in the process of conquering the land of Israel. Then it was, not called land of Israel yet, from the descendants of Shem, Mizarah shel Shem. Why? Shebechelkei shel Shem nafla. For it had fallen to the share of Shem. When Noach Aretz Azais. Therefore, the Eternal said to Avram, I will give this land to you, to your descendants. In other words, I will return it in the future to your children who are descendants of Shem. So we see here from the Torah again that the mention of the Canaanim are, Rashi explains that it's showing that the Canaanites took it away from the descendants of Shem. They were actually the ones who were who had been in the process of conquering it, took it away from Shem, who it was rightfully his share from his father Noach, when they were basically the only human beings on the world, on the face of the earth. So, and I mentioned the Chayenu because I really, there's this thing called chitas, and a lot of people watching this know what it is, but just in case you don't, chitas is basically, or you say these parts of the Torah, and chitas chumash is basically learning the Torah, the 5 books of Moshe, the Chamisha Chamisha Torah. And I was never really great about it, and this year I really started putting in a lot of effort, and I just see like pasuk after pasuk, and this is thanks to, it makes it much easier because of this Chayenu. I'm not sponsored or anything. Yeah, right. But I mean, sure, Chayenu, I'll take a sponsor any day. But what I've noticed is the more I'm doing chitas, it's just basic knowledge, and it enriches you, and it just grounds you in your own, as a Jew, in your own identity as a Jew, in your own heritage as a Jew, and all of a sudden, things become so much clearer, and you see how I personally am experiencing this. That there's, it only strengthens. Learning Torah only strengthens the clear connection that we have to Eretz Yisrael, and there are people who literally will they'll just repeat the line, and people think that it doesn't affect it. It can affect. It really could affect. Like if people just keep on yelling and berating you and saying, no, you're not, you don't, someone who isn't, and you see this with Jews who aren't connected, unfortunately, actively, that they totally fall for this whole thing, and they you see it unfortunately in Hollywood and other places where these Jews, or some of them, most of them probably aren't even Jews, but not in our name or stuff like that, and it's like Israel belongs to the Jewish people, and you just are so far off, unfortunately, that you know you're missing it. Anybody who might be watching this who is struggling with this, I mean, in the link below, there's my Instagram. You could message me personally. I'd love to talk to you personally and have a conversation about this, because I think one of the most tragic things, it's not nearly as tragic um, when someone who isn't Jewish goes and attacks Jews for being in Israel. It's infinitely more tragic when a Jew himself doesn't even know his own connection, and is being convinced that he has no connection to his own land and his own heritage, and that's just so tragic. I feel like this live is a bit of a mess. I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to cover as much as I can. And I just want to say one more thing about chitas. There's somebody I know. I actually just spoke to him today, and he's told me that for years and years he was writing to the Rebbe, about different things. And every time the answer was do chitas, do chitas, do chitas. Different forms of learning, whatever it is, make sure you're learning, add in learning. But very often it was chitas. And something recently happened to him. He had a big loss of money. And something went off and something went wrong, and he just had a big loss. But he wasn't sure if he would keep his business open. He was thinking of closing it, and he again wrote to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said, Rebbe told him, the Rebbe's answer in the Igros was that number one, don't the direction you want to go and to change, don't do it. Keep on doing what you're doing, and also learn chitas. And this person who I spoke to today, he's been learning chitas. He pretty much hasn't missed a day. And he's telling me he's so full of business. There's so much business coming to him, he could hardly keep up. And I again, this video can be talking to so many people, because I'm not really focusing on one audience right now. I'm just kind of, it's kind of like a stream of thought. I mean, I thought about it before, but I'm just speaking right now. Learning daily Chumash, if you basically the way it's split up is there's 7 portions to each Parsha, which is read on Shabbos. If you're seeing this and this is not something you even know about, reach out to me on my Instagram. It's in the description. I would love to reach out and help you do this. But just even if it's not this particular thing, any learning daily learning, or even weekly, starting something, a set thing where you routinely, consistently are learning Torah, any part of the Torah, whether it be Chumash, the 5 books of Moses, or the other prophets, or Gemara, the Talmud, or Mishnah, or Chassid, whatever it is, learning something that interests you, or that you feel that will speak to you more than anything else. Whatever it is, do something. You will see incredible success in your life, because following the Torah and doing the mitzvahs brings. I mean, I've seen it myself. When you place your trust in Hashem and you do what you have to do, and you connect to Hashem through doing mitzvahs, also not just learning, also putting on tefillin, keeping Shabbos, or taking upon any mitzvah, really. And this goes for anybody at any level. Someone who's already observant can always add, and someone who isn't observant at all could start with something small. So I just wanted to say, Torah is our life, and Torah is a source of all good for us. And when we ground ourselves in the Torah, that's when all negativity will just fade away. I wanted to, something I forgot earlier, that I wanted to speak about. I wanted to say that all the Torah that we're learning today, everything we're mentioning, should be for the hostages. They should come back home. The soldiers should be protected. The Jewish people overall should be protected, and we should see Mashiach now. Now, at the time that I was writing the notes for this, was a while back. I was actually planning on doing this already last week. There were 4 soldiers, and of course, there are many soldiers, unfortunately, that have lost their lives, sacrificed their lives, and given their lives for the Jewish people, to protect the Jewish people. I just want to list a few of the names, including there was a chaplain in the army, Rabbi Avram Yosef Goldberg, and Gilad El-Maliach, Amit Chayut, and Eliav Amram Abitbol, and of course, amongst all the other neshamas. This should be a aliyah for the neshama, and maybe be reunited with all of our family, all of the Jewish people with Mashiach now. May there be an end to all the gullus, and may we see, may we see peace across the entire world. And again, I just want to say this is sort of goodbye, because I'm going to still be making videos, and there's going to be some new stuff. I wanted to pivot my focus. I'm still thinking of what I want to do, but I really do think I want to do it, talk about Israel more often, and obviously connecting it to Torah. And we're going to end off with playing the clip of Ilya. Saying goodbye. And I just want to say again, thank you so much, Ilya. And thank you, everybody, for being here.
Welcome back, everybody. As always, we're always happy to... Welcome back, everybody. As always, we're always happy to see you. Always happy to get together. It's been a while. Unfortunately, this is a sad moment. Somebody's pulling the plug on us. Make him feel guilty, everyone.
Get out of here.
No, so basically, right, this is a new cycle of Torah again. And for now, there's a lot going on. So we're going to stop the weekly Parshah show, but I'm still going to be posting some shorts and some segments, some interesting stuff, and hopefully we'll get back to it as soon as possible. We just want to say thank you to everybody for watching, for commenting, for being part of the channel, and hopefully we'll come back. We're still going to post all the stories of tzaddikim, and God willing, we're going to have some new content coming out. So thank you.
You're always welcome back.
Okay, thank you.